Rivals meeting once again. It's finally here. Chiefs at Bills. I'm Kevin Carroll. We got a lot to talk about. This is the Buffalo End Zone Podcast.
And we are proudly presented by Toyota. I am Andy Young. This is a big week, even if the players and some fans want to downplay it. Here we go. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, Bills, Chiefs. A lot on the line in this one.
It's the game of the week, Andy, and both teams come into this with 5 wins, which if we go back a few weeks ago, it looked like the Chiefs were going to be struggling throughout the year. But they've really caught fire, Andy, and I don't want to be this guy, but despite the 40 points that the team put up against the Carolina Panthers, the Bills still offensively at least have been stuck in the mud at times. And there's a lot of concerns for me going into this when you look at the history on how these games have played out and what Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes had to do in order to win the games. Josh Allen and the Bills offense hasn't really been doing that. That the concern here is, can you keep pace? Now, I say that, but keep in mind that the Chiefs earlier in the season, I think they've only reached 30 points twice, maybe 3 times so far. So they haven't exactly been lighting it up.
They have lately.
But it seems like right now they're hitting their stride.
Oh, absolutely. Sitting at 5-3 now. I believe they were 1-3 at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. And they're on fire. Their offense looks as explosive as it has since those early Tyreek Hill days and those runs they made. Well, guess what? They were struggling earlier in the season. They didn't have their guys. Now they've got their receivers back. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton looks good, cast off from New England. So, they've got a lot of pieces there now, and Mahomes is kind of looking like Mahomes of old. Now, if you want to talk about history, the Bills have won 4 straight in the regular season. We know how the postseason has gone.
We don't even have to talk about it.
Right, but the Bills' offense does still bring up concerns. Now, one way to slow down Patrick Mahomes is with a good running game. Bills have that going for them in terms of James Cook, who has been one of the best running backs in the league. They've got one of the best offensive lines in the league. So going up against this Chiefs defense, which loves to blitz, Steve Spagnuolo is famous for that. Look what he did in the AFC Championship game last year on that final play. They threw a blitz at him they weren't expecting, and that pretty much Josh had to throw a 50-50 Hail Mary ball. Dalton Kincaid didn't come down with it. So expect more of that. But one way to slow that down a little bit is by getting Cook going. And remember, in that AFC Championship game, Cook was incredible.
We'll go back to the playoffs, and we all remember the 13-second game and, the next year when they met in the regular season.
I don't know what you're talking about. 13 seconds. What was that?
I must be thinking of something else.
Okay.
That wasn't the Bills at all. Next year, the regular season game rolls around, and it's, Bills amped up. We got to stick it back to the Chiefs. But that's been something that between these two teams just plays out year after year. It almost seems like we're reaching the regular season game this year, and I don't want to say it doesn't matter because it's still 2 5-win teams going after each other. But to me, it doesn't have the same panache as it has in the past. To me, it's more of if I'm sitting there eyeballing the Bills, I'm scared to death of this game because it might show some big flaws. Because keep in mind, the Bills, the games that they've won have been against pretty bad teams. Any team that, I mean the Falcons, who knows with them? They lose to Miami. I know they didn't have a lot of their starting players in, but the Patriots that the Bills lost to as well. It seems like I have a less of a feeling of 2 of the top teams in the AFC going at each other right now. I feel a team on the rise and a team that's trying to tread water until they figure out who they are.
Well, there's good reason for that. The Bills are second place behind the New England Patriots for first place in the AFC East. Kansas City, despite as good as they're playing and being ranked by the so-called experts and all the power rankings and betting favorites, the markets are saying they're a Super Bowl favorite, but they're still sitting in third place in the AFC West behind the Broncos and the Chargers. So they've had to dig themselves out of that hole. So that's why it might not feel quite the same. But to that point, you're still looking at two teams that are really going to be fighting hard for the 1 seed. I know both of their divisions are in play, and that might be a little different than a lot of years. But I think at the end of this, these are probably still two of the 3 best teams in the AFC. The Bills, if they can get their offensive stuff and the passing game figured out, I'll be a lot more confident. I'm not super confident in the Bills' defense, but I wasn't anyway, right? I was like, okay, you got James Cook, you got Josh Allen. Let's sling it around. Everybody eats. We're good to go, right? That hasn't necessarily played out, especially the last few weeks up until James Cook went off, but they still didn't have any passing game against the Panthers.
When you look at these meetings between the Bills and the Chiefs and where they are now, McDermott, Andy Reid, that relationship there, they're meeting each other every year in the regular season and then in the playoffs.
It's like a divisional game.
Yeah. It smacks of wherever Peyton Manning was against Tom Brady. When he was with the Colts, it would happen with the Patriots. When he went to the Broncos, it would happen against the Patriots. And that's where we are now, Andy. So these teams do know each other really well, like a conference game going in. How big of a role do you think that plays into this, even with maybe one team struggling and the other not? Maybe the Bills just know what to do against the Chiefs, and it works during the regular season, doesn't during the playoffs.
It's funny we're sitting here talking about the Bills struggling, and they're 5-2 and just had a guy run for 216 yards and put up a 40 burger.
But I don't feel confident.
Right.
Yeah,
I know. That's where we are because of the pass game, which has been a hallmark of the Bills team since 2020. It really started to decline a little bit last year, but they still spread it around, and Josh did his thing. This year, it's nowhere to be found. But to your point, back to what you were talking about with experience playing against each other, I mean, it does serve some role because you understand tendencies. You know kind of who you have to look out for. But at the same time, the teams switch things up a little bit too. Sean McDermott made a good point. He said, like, when the staffs are that similar for as long as they've been, and you play each other as often as you have, that lends itself to this. The Bills are going to have their hands full with Steve Spagnuolo, right? Like, that's just going to be a tough matchup. And Chris Jones and dealing with that guy and George Karlaftis, who seems to make play after play after play when you watch the Chiefs games. So it's a lot for the Bills to go into their own stadium in Highmark, be an underdog, which rarely happens to the Bills, come out with a win. I don't think it's like – I think it's certainly possible. I'm not predicting it. We'll get to that later. But given the way that Allen tends to get up for these games, I think they're going to figure some things out. And it'll be another classic Bills-Chiefs game, I think.
Dalton Kincaid, you think there's a little bit running through him going into this with the way it was basically the loss in the AFC Championship was basically thrown on him. Partly because of how that game ended, that just sticks with you.
Yeah, I mean, he said after the game, and I think even early this spring, that he had a really hard time after that, and it was hard. And I think Micah Hyde might have been one of the guys to go in there and kind of pick him up. And I know Dawson Knox did too, right? And,
he's going to be needed. I think,
of course, they have so few weapons. Of course he is.
I know he was injured for the Falcons game, but it seems like it's kind of teetered off of the Bills going to him a lot. He had like one catch for a touchdown a few weeks back, and then, one catch in the Panthers game?
He had the one breakout game where he went over 100 yards, and then it's been few and far between, but it's been like that for every guy.
Right.
So it's like you can't even pinpoint in the passing game like, oh, they're not going to so-and-so. They're not going to so-and-so. They're not going to anybody. They're just not.
Maybe Khalil Shakir.
It's bizarre. I mean, it's become a point where for years it was Sean McDermott saying, hey, we need to be able to run the football. We need to be able to be two-dimensional. We've got to be able to run the football. And we'd ask those questions for years and years and years. Now it has gone so far in the other direction. They run the football like the Dickens. They can't pass. And you've got the MVP, one of the top 2 or 3 players in the league, and you can't throw the football to any real effect past 5 yards down the field. It's incredible. And so it's amazing that the pendulum has swung that far in the other direction. And I still think they need to make some sort of trade for a wide receiver to help that out. Yeah. I think Josh might be pressing a little bit.
I think for sure he's pressing.
I think sometimes he gets back there, and he said something to the effect of, I'm not trusting my feet and my eyes. Well, if you drop back and you don't trust that when you hit that fifth step, somebody's going to be open for you, I think that's what he's saying. Like, am I going to have anybody to go to? Then he's pressing. The way they're running the football, he gets so few opportunities to hit somebody who's actually open down the field. Then you're pressing, and you miss your shot to Elijah Moore. Mm-hmm. Or you miss other plays down the field because you know that once or twice a game is all you're going to have an opportunity to make a big play like that. And that's got to be tough on a quarterback who is capable of playing at such a high level and has put up the numbers. Look, it has nothing to do with numbers to him. It's just flow of the game. Like, if he's out there throwing 44 passes, miss a couple, right? Because you're going to have more opportunities. Throwing the ball 19, 20 times a game, you're slowing it down so much and making it low-event football. The margin for error is so much thinner because of the way they play. Got nothing to add there.
We're out of practice, as we do on a Wednesday. Some injured bodies starting to return, it looks like, and they're going to need help on the defensive side of the ball. And you have Matt Milano and Bernard, both full participants in practice this week, just in time for this Chiefs game.
Although I would argue to some degree the linebackers looked better.
That's a fair point.
Last week against the Panthers without either of them on the field.
I think they'll be better, though, with both. I mean, at least Bernard. I think Matt Milano's better days are behind him right now, but Terrell Bernard is still there. I think a key piece.
I've been unimpressed by Bernard this season.
Okay.
I think he's taken a little bit of a step back for whatever reason or hasn't continued to ascend. Is it capable? Sure. Like, he's got it in him still. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
We'll have to see the proof in the pudding when he puts it together on the field. But, like, Shaq Thompson really seemed to stabilize that at middle linebacker, calling the plays for the defense and having that leadership role and just being veteran and knowing where to be. And he's a little bit, I don't know if he's bigger or not than Bernard, but he seems like it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back, dive into this game coming up a little more. This is the Buffalo End Zone Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Bills, Chiefs this Sunday, 4:25, the big game, Andy. If we said at the beginning of the season the Bills are 5-2 going into this game, wouldn't you have felt pretty good back in August? But the two losses were so bad that kind of hurts the mojo going into this. But nonetheless, they are playing the game, another Allen versus Mahomes game. And as we've been talking about, the passing game struggling. And I'm going to throw something out there, Andy.
I know what it is.
You know exactly what it is. Gabe Davis to the practice squad this week.
Gabe Davis season.
Gabe Davis has played pretty well against the Chiefs, albeit years ago. But it's not that long ago, Andy, that it wouldn't surprise me with where this Bills passing game is, that they might say, all right, Gabe Davis, you're getting a jersey on Sunday. Get on out there and do what you did before.
Yeah, Gabe Davis practicing on the practice squad for the first time since rejoining the Bills. He had been on what's called the practice squad injured list because he was still recovering from a knee injury, a torn meniscus that he suffered last season when he signed a free agent deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars and left the Bills. So Gabe Davis back on the practice field, and it was funny. I'm not speaking out of school here because Davis said it himself in post-practice interviews that Joe Brady gave him the first rep when it went to Bills wide receivers throwing with Josh Allen. And that was pretty cool because Gabe had waited a long time to get back and got up there and had the first rep. I mean, I thought he looked pretty good in practice. He looked kind of the same as he did when he left. He's got a little sleeve on one of his legs, but I thought he looked fine. He's never been a burner or a speed guy.
I've been thinking about that. Like, when I think of Gabe Davis, I think of plays down the field, which the Bills have not been able to do, with him getting separation, which the Bills haven't been able to do. I think of the Steelers game.
Yeah, the two real long ones.
I think of the Chiefs playoff game. We won't talk about how many seconds were left on the clock.
The Colts playoff game, he was huge.
Yeah. So he's a big downfield guy, even though he's not that burner that we talk about the Bills needing.
Yeah, we talked to him a few years ago when he was still here about his depth of target being so far, and maybe his catch percentage was lower because they asked him to press down the field, and those are naturally lower percentage plays. You're going to come down with those less often. But he is a guy who, in his past, represented a guy who could get downfield and make plays in traffic. And he said that the chemistry with Josh Allen was like riding a bike.
Mm-hmm.
He said, heck, I've got 30-something touchdowns with the guy, so it's not something we have to redevelop.
Max Hairston was a surprise that he was playing in Carolina. Now, I'm not going to be surprised if Gabe Davis is there coming up, because it just seems like it's kind of in the cards.
I won't be surprised. It would be a mild, like, wow, that's interesting. I won't be 100% surprised at all. I think it could happen. Davis was asked, does he feel like he could play this week physically, mentally? He said yes, if called upon. Now, that would require the Bills either signing him to the active roster, which I don't believe they have any roster spots left right now because they just signed Poyer and Phillips to the active roster from the practice squad. But they could use his 3 practice squad call-ups on a game day roster, and he could play that way. So it certainly could happen. It was surprising, like you mentioned, with Maxwell Hairston. A little bit of a different situation, but maybe not so much.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays.
Is he actually a savior for the Bills? Like,
wouldn't it be funny if he is?
Right.
I mean, we can't see.
I don't expect it, but he could provide you something.
It doesn't seem like how things went down with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they just moved on from him, that there was a lot, and the Bills are trying to bring part of the old band back throughout the year this year. But I don't know. When he was here, Stephon Diggs was here as well. And I think that helped Davis out a lot. And if Davis is becoming more of the one guy that they won't call the one guy with Joshua Palmer sidelined still, I don't know how that plays out, because Diggs being on the roster, I thought, helped Davis out tremendously.
And Davis isn't really a Z receiver, which is like the flanker. He's more of an X, which is Keon Coleman's position. Would you rather have? Let's have some fun.
Keon Coleman better watch out.
Right. Would you rather have, say, Gabe Davis is healthy and he's good? Would you rather play Gabe Davis or Keon Coleman in a more prominent role?
I would start Gabe Davis and send a message to Keon Coleman that what you're putting on out there isn't good enough. But if I were Joe Brady, I'd find different ways to line up Keon Coleman and see if he can get more into a flow that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Khalil Shakir is Khalil Shakir, but he'll need a blow every now and then. And if you put Coleman in the slot and you have Kincaid out there and Gabe Davis is doing his thing, maybe that's what this offense needs. And then, they won't do anything at the trade deadline, and then things will fall apart down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's early to give up on Keon Coleman, but right now, for whatever reason, whether that's play calling, whether that's Keon himself or Josh, or a combination of it, it's just not happening. After Baltimore, we said, all right, here we go. It's Keon time. He's going to elevate and take a step in his second season, and it just has not continued to flourish. And they had a lot of hopes riding on him.
Mm-hmm.
They needed him to be a guy. He's out there on the field more than anybody else at the receiver position. Part of the issue is, and I brought this up earlier, is that they just are passing so little. These guys just don't get a ton of opportunities, and it's hard for them to get in the flow of the game. And I think that's something that McDermott and Brady and Allen have to consider. When you're going to just keep pounding the rock and running toss back to James Cook every single play because the other team can't stop it, that's all well and good. But what happens in those games where they do stop it and your receivers just have no rhythm and no flow because you don't pass them the ball? It's chicken or the egg here. It's hard to distinguish what's the cause. I think clearly more of the cause is the lack of ability of the receivers for whatever reasons those are happening out there right now. But it's something they've got to figure out because there are going to be games. Could happen this Sunday at Highmark against the Chiefs. They're going to have to throw the football around.
James Cook is going to get his yards.
AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Do we think we haven't seen Josh Allen run as much as usual this season? Do you think the magnitude of this game against the Chiefs, we see him more being the Josh Allen that runs the ball?
There are more seemingly designed runs in some of these Chiefs games where they bring him around on quarterback power. We've seen him several times hurdle guys or make amazing. Think about the game-winning play, the put-away play last season.
That's what I'm thinking about.
In the regular season.
Right.
So maybe he does pull that out of his bag a little bit more. That's something he hasn't done quite as much this season. Cook, they're going to have tough sledding. I mean, as good as Cook is, this is a defense that's ranked 4th overall. I mean, it's just really good in terms of getting after the passer, trying to stop the run. I mean, they're, I think, 11th in rushing defense. So it's not top 5, but it's still good. So get Cook going, but be able to use your play action. Get some of these other guys involved somehow early in the game to where you can continue to be ahead of the sticks a little bit, especially if the Chiefs and Spagnuolo adjust and slow down Cook.
All right, let's adjust here. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Flip to the other side of the ball, Andy. This is the Buffalo End Zone Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Kevin Carroll, Andy Young with you. Bills Chiefs coming up on Sunday at 4:25.
What were you laughing about there?
The way Jordan cued me, like
okay.
he didn't care.
Okay. That's our boy Jordan in the control room.
Yeah, control room, really melancholy today. Anywho, Andy, you got Patrick Mahomes. You got a Chiefs offense that's really picking up steam right now. You got burners that are a concern for the Bills' defensive backfield that's had its question marks. Chiefs coming into Buffalo at the right time for them. We'll see what it's like on the defensive side of the ball for the Bills. And maybe Max Harrison came back a week early to get his toes wet because they're going to lean on him a lot and his speed in this one.
Yeah, we'll see. We asked Max Harrison if he was looking forward to facing Xavier Worthy, who's the speedster from the Chiefs at wide receiver. He set the record for fastest 40 time ever at the NFL Combine 2 years ago. Max Harrison was the fastest guy in the Combine this past season. Is that going to be cool or what? Maybe that's just a fan thing in me,
right?
A sports fan, but I think it's really cool to see speed on speed like that. He kind of played it off as, I'm looking forward to playing
everyone.
Right. I'm looking forward to playing all their receivers because they're really good. I mean, Xavier Worthy's been pretty good for them. Rashee Rice coming back has been huge. I mean, if you look at what he's been able to do in 2 games, 16 catches, 135 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's just a massive boost. It's the kind of thing the Bills need, a jump start, a spark plug in the form of a trade.
Yeah.
Or somebody. Maybe it's Gabe Davis.
Maybe it's Gabe Davis. They also have Hollywood Brown, Andy.
Yep.
You look at the ground game, though, it looks like no Isaiah Pacheco in this one, and they're going to have to go back to Kareem Hunt, who to me, it seems like he's a young guy. He just got in the league. But Kareem Hunt's been around for a while at this point.
Yeah, Pacheco Wednesday did not practice with a knee issue that he, I believe, suffered in their last game against the Commanders on Monday Night Football. They've got short rests this week, too, which is an advantage for the Bills. Didn't have two of their best offensive linemen in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Simmons, their young rookie tackle, non-injury related, personal issue, did not practice this week. Trey Smith, limited, their guard with a back issue. They've got a bunch of different guys here on the injury report. But, yeah, I mean, that defense has got to figure out a way to try to contain Mahomes, to be in the proper rush lanes. One of the might have been Hoyt who said if you're behind him.
It was Michael Hoyt who
said
that. I was going to bring him up.
Yeah, if you end up as a pass rusher and as an edge rusher behind Mahomes, sweeping around the outside,
you've screwed up.
You've been beat because he's just going to take that gap and run for 15 yards and slide and then get up and do this, ready for the next play like he always does. So here we go. That's crucial. They've had such a hard time in a lot of these games getting him on the ground.
Yep.
Maybe that's where a Hoyt can come in. That's why you brought in Bosa. That's why you brought in Von Miller
Hoyt
3 years before that.
Hoyt's, I know it's just one game, but pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, Hoyt really is. Just the energy that he brings and the smarts and, like, the impact he made in that Carolina Panthers game. It was visible.
Yep.
The way they're able to use him in different spots. With injuries at defensive tackle, Daquan Jones not practicing for the Bills this week again.
Mm-hmm.
They could be down to just 2 or 3 guys, and then it's like, do they slot him in on pass rushing downs as a tackle? Did some of that against the Panthers, and it worked.
That's when I noticed him the most. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break again and get a check of your game day weather, and then Andy and I will dive into the gambling portion of the show. You're watching the Buffalo End Zone podcast.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Gilson with your Buffalo Bills game day forecast for Sunday afternoon against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're headed out early tailgating, you'll want that jacket, sweatshirt. It's not going to be overly cold, but definitely chilly. Temperatures back down into the low to mid 40s to start as we head toward kickoff. Looking at maybe a little bit of sunshine, but I think the clouds win out. Only a slight chance for a spot shower as we head through the afternoon and early evening. Temperatures through the game will stay in the 40s.
All right, welcome back, everyone. There you go. Some might say a perfect day for football coming up on Sunday. Decent tailgating with the sun out, and then it, of course, will cool off as the evening rolls along.
We were having a conversation in the Bills media room today. People were saying, we're going to have to bundle up. We're going to have to wear our parkas. It's going to be in the mid to low 40s maybe. I said, that's perfect for me. I'm going to be out there with my suit coat on and feel good.
You love it. 40s is fine.
Well, especially for me in my case, you go from the press box, then you stand outside in the hallway where it could be cold, and then you go in the locker room, which is like being in a sauna, and do the post-game interviews, and then I run right back out onto the field to join as an analyst in the Buffalo End Zone post-game show on TV. I'm sweating in a lot of cases, so that'll feel good to me.
And then you'll be sick next week, so we'll have to deal with that. Bills +2 at home, Andy, from BetMGM's website.
I am going to take the Chiefs to cover, winning by 3.
Wow. Okay, over-under 52.5.
Over.
Got to take the over. I think this is going to be a big offensive explosion.
Right.
Extravaganza.
52.5, that's like 28-24, something like that. I mean, that would work, right, in that area.
I'm going to go against my greater judgment and have the Bills winning this one 31-28.
I usually don't pick the Chiefs in this spot, do I?
I usually do.
Right. So
Everything is upside down right now, Andy.
Until the Bills' offense can show me a little more in the passing game, I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Well, that's the problem, right? Is that I just think in order to beat the Chiefs, the Bills will need to get to 30.
Yeah.
So
You don't think they can?
I think they can. I think they're going to snap out of their funk in the passing game and be able to move the ball evenly throughout this game. It's the defense that I'm concerned about and how they're going to hold Mahomes. But again, we've seen the Chiefs, not lately, but at times have trouble putting points up too. And I mean, the refs are obviously going to be on the Chiefs' side. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I've been seeing that.
Some people at home,
the last 2 weeks.
You're going to get them on their soapboxes.
The last 2 weeks, Andy, that's all I've seen after Chiefs game on social media.
I was part of that the other day.
Bagging on the refs.
I didn't say it was because of the Chiefs. I just thought they were bad calls generally, not some conspiracy. But one that really irks me, we'll travel down the road a little bit here, is the spotting of the ball and the new virtual measurement system. Well, if you're going to do a virtual measurement, what good is that if the ball was spotted in the wrong place?
Good point.
So do a better job, NFL. Use your technology and the billions of dollars that you make. Put the chip in the football. Spot the ball. Use video in conjunction with GPS or however that would work.
Like tennis does.
Exactly. And spot the ball. Find the point. Triangulate it however you need to do.
Yes.
To see in the video where's the knee, and then use some sort of technology to spot the ball in the right place. Then you can use your virtual measurement, because the virtual measurement took longer than it did to bring the chain gang out. It made no sense. Like, it doesn't it's lipstick on a pig.
Right. Oh, well
Yeah.
done. No, he talked about the refs and the Chiefs. Should we talk about the Bills should lose this one anyways and win it? No. We're going to go to break and then come back, take a look around the AFC and the playoff picture. This is the Buffalo End Zone Podcast. All right, welcome back, everyone. Bills and Chiefs, both with 5 wins on the season, chasing other teams down. Andy, here we are. The Colts sitting at 7-1 still blows my mind. I know I'm going to sound like I'm on repeat every week, but it just doesn't compute with Daniel Jones and what happened to him in New York City with the Giants and how now he's a stud leading this Colts team, and they're atop the standings in the entire AFC. So the Bills and the Chiefs are both chasing teams right now, including the Patriots are up there as well.
Do you think that a running back could or should win MVP, and should Jonathan Taylor be an MVP frontrunner right now?
Now, I'm old, and I remember times when
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
when running backs were always in the mix for MVP. I can't remember the last. I want to say Sean Alexander.
Adrian Peterson.
So, yeah, I mean, what he's doing with the Colts, yes, I think he should be in the mix.
He should be in the mix. The thing that has changed with MVP voting is the analytics stuff that's so readily available now. If you're talking like EPA per play, different things, advanced stats, show that even the best running backs don't come close to the impact they have on their team as opposed to a quarterback.
But wouldn't you say this? Where would the Colts be without him?
Not as good as they are.
Right. That, to me, was always the argument.
Would the Bills be without?
Well, that was my argument.
James Cook. They'd be nowhere.
But my argument, like a few years ago, was where would the Bills be without Josh Allen at quarterback when he wasn't, and then he wins the MVP last year. But I don't remember during camp when Cook wasn't signed, I said you could just plug Ray Davis in there and everything would. I'll take that one back.
Yeah.
I'll take that back.
Look, the AFC is a dogfight right now. Kansas City finally sneaks their way back into a playoff spot. They would be the 7th seed right now.
Chargers and Broncos keep doing what they're doing and holding the Chiefs off, too.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers are slipping a little bit here. I think generally, like you thought they were going to be just a hoss. Right?
I still do.
Okay. Denver looks really good. Pittsburgh.
You hate them, so
they're calling for Tomlin's head in Pittsburgh in a lot of radio stations and podcasts and things of that nature, which is not unusual when a guy's been tenured that long, has been there without big success in a long time. It's been a long time since the Steelers were like legit contenders. Yes, they're always 500 or better, but they haven't been that good. A lot of people are saying, like, man, how do you, as a defense, give up what you gave up in that last game? If you're supposed to be this steel curtain type defense and you're a defensive guy.
Well, that's the other question. Are the Packers that good? Because the Packers are atop the NFC, and I didn't picture them as being that good.
I thought they were really good after the first couple of games. Then they stumbled a little bit, but they don't have a ton of weaknesses. Like, if Jordan Love is playing the way he is, and then you combine what Parsons and that defense is doing, and they've got a nice group of receivers. None major stars, but all very good, and a lot of them drafted the first couple of days of the draft.
Right.
Plus, Josh Jacobs, I mean, they've got a really nice squad. They don't have a whole lot of weaknesses, but I don't think Detroit does either over in the NFC.
Yeah. It should be pretty interesting as we come down the stretch. I mean, we're hitting November now, Andy, so.
Do you think Baltimore is going to make a heroic run into the playoffs here?
I have it right here. Do the Ravens still matter?
Yes.
I think they do.
They get Lamar back?
I think they get Lamar back.
Yeah.
I think they finally got their second win this past weekend. You get a healthy Lamar back. They just go all in. And Henry is still such a beast to take down. And, you get Lamar in there. They could start inching up like the Chiefs are inching up.
Yeah, a lot of concerns about their defense still. Their defense is not very good. I know they've got guys banged up there too, but that's concerning. But I do think the way that division shapes out, they're going to have a shot. I thought Flacco was going to stabilize things, and they're still putting up a ton of points. Their defense is horrible, the Bengals. They let the Jets score 39 points.
The Jets!
You could be out there playing quarterback for the Jets.
No, thanks. I have that in my no-trade clause. I will not go to the Jets.
Okay.
All right, we'll do a little 3 and out and then close up shop for this
show.
Wednesday, for this show.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Time for a little 3 and out as we close up shop on a Wednesday here. Andy, 18-inning World Series game between the Jays and Dodgers. Did you watch all of it?
No.
Any of it? Aware of it?
I saw the Ohtani homer.
Okay.
And then I went to bed. So
I can't even stay up that. I usually go to bed by about 8:20 every night now.
8:20. My son he's 7, doesn't go to bed that early.
But I get up and I feel rushed. So I get up early and go to the gym at like 6 in the morning, and I'm just gassed by the end of the night.
Maybe don't do that anymore.
How about this little stat? Brad Paisley sang the national anthem before the 18-inning game.
Twice.
I was going to say Brad Paisley also did it in 2018 as well. Do you think MLB will be like, hey, Brad, you're not coming by for the national anthem during the World Series at least?
I was watching the game last night, and some of the calls – you just kicked me.
Kicked you.
Some of the calls from the officials or the umpires made it look like, all right, I just want to get home. They're calling everything, right?
I would see that, yeah.
18 innings is a long, long
It's
game.
2 games.
Great series, though. It's been awesome.
No, I love it that it's tied up at 2-2. Halloween is coming up on Friday. Andy, we do this every year, but Halloween candy debate. What is your favorite Halloween candy that you buy now to give out, hoping that you don't have to give out as much of it so you can have it around?
I mean, we go with Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, that kind of stuff. I like to eat a few of those. Like, I like chocolate, but not a ton. My sweet spot is like Sour Patch Kids. When those come home, it's everything for me to not eat the kids' Sour Patch Kids.
Candy-wise, I'm done with the sweet stuff. I'll have a little chocolate. Reese's has chocolate bats this year, which, if anyone knows about the peanut butter cup, when they do the Reese's eggs,
oh, so good.
So full of peanut butter. These bats are full of peanut butter, too. I'm going to tell the wife to get a couple of bags of those, and then we'll keep them around the house. Andy,
you won't give any out to kids.
No, we don't get that many kids by our place.
Yeah.
What you watching, Andy? I said last week I was going to watch this movie, Good Boy. It's a horror movie from a dog's perspective. I enjoyed it all the way up until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end, I was kind of like, But then I was bored and went to YouTube and put in the old explain the ending of this movie. Now I really like the movie.
Okay. Did I say this before? I finally watched Sinners.
No.
Yeah, I finally watched the Haley Steinfeld movie with Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. It's really good. It's different. It's got some weird stuff going on, but it ties in history and vampires and all these things. It's really cool. So I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
I always forget about that movie. I've been saying this can't end soon enough.
You've been saying too much.
I've been wanting to watch the movie. I said it since it came out on demand, but I never have. Andy.
Do it. You'd like it.
Also watched Dreamcatcher, old Stephen King movie from back in the day. A lot grosser than I remembered it when it came out in the early 2000s.
I don't know if I've watched that before.
And then they have that Welcome to Derry, like It prequel series that just came out too. So there's that. And then there's some vampire thing with our boy Billy Fichtner in it that came out on Sunday night too, but I can't remember what the heck it's called. Telemachia or something like that. It's all Halloween
spooky
stuff.
Season. Watch Sinners. It'll get you in the mood.
Okay, Sinners I'll put on the list.
To eat some Reese's Bats. Speaking of vampires.
That's what I'll do. Okay, we will be back after the Bills-Chiefs game, coming up again at 4:25 on Sunday. Game of the week. They got all the big wigs at CBS coming out to call this game, Andy, so you know it's important.
And I'll be there.
You'll be there. I'll be at the studio. Stevie Johnson will join us. Andy will join us. We'll break everything down. Buffalo End Zone post-game show, and then Buffalo End Zone podcast comes your way on Sunday after the game. For Andy Young, I'm Kevin Carroll. As always, thanks for joining us, everyone.